Good evening, everybody. Yes, I'm back. Welcome to the Choir Directors Academy. I'm your host, Angela Lane. Glad to be back. I know I've been out for a minute, and there were some shows that I did rebroadcast on because I kept getting questions. So it just made more sense to rebroadcast those shows since the answers that they were looking for were actually in those shows. But thank you for being here. Listen, like and share the video. Let everybody know that the Choir Directors Academy is live this week. This is not a pretend show. This is a real show. Glad to see you. Hey, Shanita. Thank God for my cousin Shanita being here. She's been really sick. And I'm glad that God has blessed her to yet be here in the land of the living. Hey, Charles, good to see you. Good to see you. Listen, like and share this video. Let everybody know that we are live. Listen, this is a topic that every music department, we all have issues with, from the top, from the lead person all the way down to the smallest person, the lowly soprano, alto, or tenor that's sitting in the back. We all have these issues and they need to be addressed. You know, we're at the point now where we're after COVID and everybody's trying to rebuild their music department. Well, you know what? You can't come back with the same old stuff. All right. Some things, I told one music minister, first of all, you need to see what worked during COVID and what did not. Okay. And those things that did not work, you need to trash them. Because, it's a whole new attitude, a whole new environment. Jesus is the same yesterday, today, and forever, right? God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. But people, there's a different whatever going on. But that doesn't mean that if it's in you, you can inspire people to come back. But when I say the same old thing, I mean, you know how we did rehearsal. We just came when we came, we did what we did, and then we moved on. That's not going to work today. I mean, you with all of these different avenues and all of these different ways to get information and do the ways to do things, instead of being a church choir, they can join a community choir, but we want to build the church choir back up. But we need to institute some of the things that our community choirs are doing, which we should have been doing anyway. Come on, tell the truth, shame the devil. We should have been doing these things anyway, but sometimes we just get a little lax. And, you can get stuck in a rut. And well, I'm here to talk to you today and to help you get out of that rut. The rotting thought process and out of your rut. Okay, so let's go. Let's get started. I don't plan to be with you that long, but I want to give you something, give you some ideas, and then I'm going to show you a template that I use, that I share with people, but that I used in the beginning, but now it's part of my spirit, so I don't really need it. And I've learned how to be a time manager. All right. Basically, we're going to discuss a choir rehearsal plan. It's not that we don't plan to fail. We fail to plan. And, most of the time we run our rehearsals willy-nilly, right? You just come in. Okay. You say it starts at this time. It doesn't start to 10, 15 minutes later because you only got two people sitting there. Well, you know what? For the past 5-6 years, you've been starting at 8. You know how we do. If you say 7:30, but you really don't start at 8. But guess what? I'm not going to get there till 8 o'clock. Well, if you got a bunch of people who are getting off work and they're thinking to themselves, well, he or she is not going to start on time anyway. Well, what's the chances of them coming? You're going to be at rehearsal by yourself, right? You don't want to do that. So you want to plan everything that we do. Everything that we do, we should plan. I can't stress that enough. You need to plan. Even in your personal life, you need to plan. We have become the worst time managers. And I'm not saying, to be honest with you, I'm not a true fan of the hour and a half church. I hear people saying, we don't need to be in church all day, blah, 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 blah. But I kind of have a problem with that because you know what? People can sit there for 4 or 5 hours and binge watch a TV show. Okay. So if you can binge watch a TV show, why can't you sit in church? You know what I'm saying? When we're in church, we're like so into it, singing, my church still has testimony service. So, it's short, 30 minutes, everybody gets up like, you gotta get up like popcorn or you miss it. All right. And plus we teach people how to testify. We don't want to hear about your dog and your cat and what you saw on the news. No, you get up and you edify people. If you can't edify anybody, then keep that to yourself. All right. But it moves so fast by the time you get to singing and you get the group singing, and our offering is only 5 minutes. And then, we spend more time on everything else. So for me, church, I love church and it doesn't bother me. But when it comes to rehearsal, that's a whole nother animal. You cannot afford to waste people's time. And that's why a lot of our rehearsals we don't have the attendance. We don't have the participation in that. Those that come, it's all kind of factors that go into that. Okay. So I don't want to, this is not a beat up session. Okay. I want you to understand, I'm not here to bash the choir director. I'm not here to bash the choir or anybody else, but it's just some things that you got to learn, right? Crystal says a plan is so important to not waste anyone's time. Exactly. Okay. You got to take into consideration, and not only the people, but yourself. You don't want your choir rehearsals to be, you don't want to waste your time either. All right. Hey, Nat was just down there with Natalie. They had a wonderful music workshop, and they blessed me to be the guest speaker, and I totally enjoy it. Fantastic people. I love them down there in Indy. All right. So for number one, we want to think, why do we need a plan? Okay. Number one, you want to set direction. You need to know what you're here for. All right. Like I said, back in the day, choir rehearsal, we just come in, we sing a bunch of songs and we just move on, no kind of clarity, nothing. We just come in there. Okay. This is choir rehearsal. And a lot of times I think that we should have the spirit of the rehearsals that they had in the past, but today we need to be efficient with our time. Everybody everything is about time. Okay, we're trying to redeem time. We're not trying to waste time. So you need to set direction. And another thing while we plan, because you want to get everybody aligned on the same page, know where we're going. All right. It's just like the GPS. You need to know where you're going. Don't just tell me take this road, take that road, and then you'll see this tree. And then what happens if they cut the tree down? You want to have a line of focus, right? And then you want to have, third thing, should I say, communication to the team. Remember that scripture in Proverbs 29:18, where there's no vision, the people perish. And believe me, they will perish out of your rehearsal. They will perish. You start with 25, you keep wasting time, you're going to end up with 10, and then maybe 2, and then possibly, and then there were none. All right. So we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that we have a plan in place. Hey, Isaiah, good to see you. We want to make sure that we have a plan in place. That never hurt anybody. Even God has a plan. Jesus had a plan. Everybody has a plan. So what makes us think as humans that we don't need a plan? And then you wonder, let me throw this in there. Nobody wants to follow somebody that doesn't know where they're going. Okay. Nobody wants to. I personally cannot follow anybody and you don't know where you're going. You lose, it's almost like some TV shows or some movies. If you don't captivate me in the first 3 or 4 minutes, I'm out. Next, I'm looking for something else. You need to give me something to let me know this is worth my time. And that's what I'm trying to convey to you, all directors, even myself. When I have a rehearsal, I make sure everything, I'm in tune, first of all, and then because if you're not in tune, you can't get the rest of the group together. Okay. So number one, we want to run through these real quick, and then I want to show you the little flow chart that I give some new choir directors that don't know exactly what's going on. There are some people out there, they're still putting people in position and they don't know what to do. They're still doing it. And that's not a good thing. You never want anybody to go underwater, before they even get started. That's just not fair. All right. So first of all of us, I don't care if we're new, if we've been there a little bit, or we're tenured choir directors. One thing we all must do, and that's what? I'm sure you already know the answer. Start on time. Again, start on time. One more time. Start on time. Oh my God. Can we drive that point? Look at your neighbor and say, start on time. Yes, you must start on time. Okay, that's the number one pet peeve of any department, especially the music department. Starting on time. Starting on time. Hey, Buster, good to see you. This Buster Woods in G3, this the man right here. Our mothers were friends when we were younger. This is the guy right here. If you need your children to get taught music, I don't know if he's still doing it, but I'm just throwing it out there, okay? You must start on time. People, you got to start on time. That's like every time I go somewhere, I hear that from people. Start on time. They can't stand that. If you say you start at 7:30, I don't care if you got 3 people, start on time. You can always go back and review the material, okay? You can always do a quick recap towards the end of rehearsal. You know, you can adjust your schedule any way you can, but you got to start on time. You got to get people to the point where they realize, look, they're going to start no matter if I'm there or not, and they may not repeat. Don't guarantee them that you're going to repeat, but you want to make sure that you start on time and everybody knows you're starting on time, and that's it. All right? That's number 1. Number 2, manage the time used on each song. You got to be disciplined. You have to be a time manager. You have to be a time manager. I can't stress that enough. You must be a time manager. What'd you say, John? Thank you. Thank you so much. Shanita says, amen. You got to be a time manager. Come on. You can't spend forever on one song. Okay, remember when I talked about song selections and knowing your choir and knowing their skill sets and knowing what they're able to do, right? You can't do like some big choirs do. You have to know your people. Go back to my show about song selection. You have to know your people. So if you know them, you know what songs to pick. Am I right? Okay, you know their skill sets. So you can't pick all of these hard songs and expect them to flow along with you, right? So if you just say you're rehearsing a song, I'm trying to think of something really. I'm just saying Total Praise. Everybody should know Total Praise, but that one line where the tenders sing, they always add that note in there. Professor Richard Small will always say, don't add that note. But anyway, you're teaching them Total Praise. All right, if your choir is beginning, if your choir is beginning, you know, if people in your choir are not, they don't have good tone, like what they hear is not what comes out of their mouths, then you know that song is going to take you some time just to get them to sing the right notes. All right. So that may not be a song that you want to start with. This is all in your rehearsal, managing your time, because you know that song is going to take you at least a half hour or more to get them to be where you want them to be. So in my mind, what I've always done in my choir, if I got something like that, I would rather choose some upbeat song or some song that they're pretty much familiar with, right? So my theory in my mind, since I know I only got an hour really to run through X amount of songs, whatever, depending on which choir I'm there to deal with, right? So what I would do is start with something easy that they're familiar with, right? Because you got to boost their morale. You'll depress the people if you start with Total Praise and you know good and well they're not skilled. You're going to depress them before they even get to the half hour mark. They're just going to get disgusted, right? You don't want that. So this is where time management come in. You know, if you teach them a song like what's that song Hezekiah Walker sing? Why should I worry? Why should I fret? Jesus is my help. Well, it's got a nice beat in the group. 10 times out of 10, they're going to follow that song. That you can run through that song in 5 minutes. I mean, you just hit the part, you know, I'm trusting that you gave them the music before choir rehearsal, right? You can just hit that part. You know where they're probably going to stumble in that one little area. Work on that. Run through that song. Kind of builds their confidence a little bit, right? Then maybe you get a medium song. I don't know. When I Think of Your Goodness, Jesus by Ricky Dillon. That's not so hard. All right, so then they go through that. Then you pick another easier song that maybe is upbeat that they can get, you know, and then you go pull in the hard song. And you got to kind of think, do I want to perfect the hard song this week, or do I want to wait or do I want to introduce it and then perfect it next week? You got to think about those things, right? Because if you spend too much time on a song, I learned the hard way. If you spend too much time on a song, especially when you're dealing with people who are not strong, musically strong, like Buster's choir, G3, they strong. So he can do maybe 10 songs in an hour, maybe 15. He's got strong people. Whereas if your choir's not so strong, you may have to split that song up. You understand? And so because when you're practicing on a song, 15, 20 minutes can pass by so fast. And you don't want people frustrated, right? So you want to kind of plan your songs out. This all part of this choir rehearsal thing. You want to kind of plan easy, hard, easy, medium, easy, whatever, to kind of keep the morale boosted. I hope I'm not talking too fast and you all kind of understand what I'm saying. Hey, Pastor Naaman. Whoa, Pastor Naaman, good to see you, bro. That's what you want to do. You want to manage that time. Next, you want to make sure that you send the music to your department in advance. Don't use your rehearsal. You're going to lose a lot of time if you wait till rehearsal to give them the music. Don't do that. I don't care if they're tone deaf. Give them the music before rehearsal. All right? Because that will make it easier for you. At least they're familiar with it. The worst thing is if you got some people who are not versed in music or don't have they don't have good muscle memory. Let me put it, I'm trying to be gentle. They don't have good muscle memory when it comes to music. You don't want to inundate them with a song and they never heard of it. You're going to be frustrated and so will they. Okay? You don't want to do that. So what you want to do is make sure you give them the music ahead of time. Tell them to listen to it. I always find that people who are not versed in music, you can throw the music at me and I'll catch it. Well, I'm a musician and, I come from a musically inclined family, so it's second nature to me. But if you have choir members most of us who have church choirs, you have a mixed congregation. You have those that are advanced and you have those who are not so advanced. I'm trying to be gentle. You want to give it to them ahead of time and you want them to be familiar with it so that when you come to rehearsal, it's not as bad. Remember, I had the show not too long ago that rehearsal is not for you to introduce a new song. All right. It's really not for that. It's for you to perfect what they've already practiced on. So instruct them to listen to the music. I always find that it's better for them to listen. Don't try to learn your part. Just listen. Let your spirit learn the song because our spirits came directly from God, the breath, the pneuma. They have perfect pitch. I found that out to be totally true. That God revealed that to me, that our spirits have perfect pitch. And take advantage of it, people. Take advantage of that. Tell the people, just listen. Don't sing the song when you hear it. Just listen while you're washing dishes, while you're washing the car, stuff like that. Just let the song play and you listen to it. And you'll find that you will connect. You will connect and they will connect with the music easier. You don't have to worry about it. Buster says, yeah, they can definitely easily be defeated. And you don't want, once your choir becomes defeated, it's very hard to get them back up. You don't want that. That's a dangerous place to be because then that brings down the attendance, that brings down the morale. Then, all of a sudden you got people, I don't want to be in the choir anymore. You got all of that. All right. You don't want to do that. I try to have rehearsals. I don't care if it's the state choir, district choir, my local choir, my triettes. I don't care who it is. I aim to make choir rehearsal enjoyable, right? I don't want it to be a drudgery like, we got rehearsal again. I try to make it enjoyable. Sometime in rehearsal, there's something funny happen. I may make a mistake and do something and they all laugh. Just, you want to make it kind of like a family, right? In a sense, you want people to enjoy, you want them to know, to be kind of like, you want some spontaneity in choir rehearsal. We know we come into practice. We know we're going to have an opening song. We know we're going to pray. We know we're going to go over the song. But they don't really necessarily have to know every single thing that's going to go on. The Holy Ghost can come in and bless everybody, and it turns into a praise service. And, that's the best time when somebody prays and everybody gets lifted. Choir rehearsal take off. And it's so easy, like, let's do this again next week. Right? But you want it to be enjoyable. You want people to feel like they're participating. You don't want it to be a drudgery. My sister's out here. She's talking to Shanita, I'm sure. Isaiah said, yes, send the music to your department in advance. Teach your choir how to study efficiently and accurately. The brain is a powerful tool. Training the brain on how to rehearse trains the individual to effective study. Exactly. You know, and that's why I say that is the best way that I've learned over the years to have people to learn the music. Just listen to it. Don't try to learn it and learn the words and everything, because your spirit is going to pick all of that up. You know, a lot of times, just digressing, as my father would say, a lot of times that's how they identify amnesia victims, people who lose their memory, because you do what's in your spirit. It's a certain way you eat and conduct yourself. They know, okay, they came from this kind of family. It's a certain way you speak. They know you from this part of town. They know where you went to college from. They can tell a lot of different things about you. Even though you don't recall who you are, they feel your spirit, right? They feel your spirit. They can pick it up from your spirit, and you do what's in your spirit. So that's why I encourage people to just listen to the music and let it penetrate your spirit, right? And then it will be easier, and you will sing the part perfectly and won't even realize, you know, they're just singing, and they're singing it perfectly and don't even realize it. Right? That's just the easiest way to do it. Isaiah says the rehearsal must be effective. It has to be. What my sister say? Oh, she said hello, but I didn't see. No, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. My bad. I didn't see it. Okay. So we want to send the music in advance to your department. That cuts down on your rehearsal time. Okay? It does. It cuts a tremendous cut in your rehearsal time. You won't have to spend so much time on each song, because remember, when you want the choir to sing, but you want the people to understand what they're singing. You want to have time. Another good reason to give them the music ahead of time and let them practice on their own or listen on their own is because when they come to rehearsal, you need to perfect the speech. You need to perfect the performance. You need to perfect diction. You know, people need to understand what you're singing. You don't want the musicians to have to play the music before you understand what they're saying. You're just guessing. You know, a lot of times we do that. These choirs get up here and they sing. We have no idea what they're saying. It's all muffled. Just because you're singing with a mass choir or a small choir doesn't mean the sound has to be muffled where we don't understand. You don't have to do that. You know, we should always speak clearly. We should sing clearly. Oh, Lord. Clearly. Oh, my God. Satan, you a lie. Clearly, not queerly. Oh, my God. Where did it come from? The devil? Clearly. Clearly. So that people will understand. That was just a prime example right there. Clearly. So people can understand. Sing clearly so people can understand. They don't have to wait for the music, or they don't have to have the hymnal in front of them, or some kind of music on the screen in order to understand what you're saying. Oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Why did I make that? Who is that? Hey, Ed, good to see you. Natalie said, I do give them the words because we do a disservice to the singers for them to hear. Or say the word wrong like I just did, right? She said, hey, Ed, Don busted. Yeah, clearly. Okay. I mean, it's just ridiculous. That was just so bad. Ed, you're right. I think I showed you, Ed. Diction is so important. Yes, it is. You must have diction and speak clearly. Oh, that was just bad. All right. And one of the last things I want to share with you, we absolutely must be enthusiastic when we're doing what we do for God. I cannot stand when people stand there and they sing it, and their faces, their hands, their body is saying, I really don't want to be here. I don't want to do this. I don't like this song. I don't want to be a part of it. Oh my God. That just irritates me to the worst and the best way for me to walk out. Because look, be enthusiastic. Nobody wants a funny-duddy choir director. You don't want somebody coming in there and it's like, okay, everybody, no excitement. I understand we have bad days, but there should be something inside us working. to help the people, right? I don't want to come to choir rehearsal and I'm all excited and enthused, and you standing there looking like you just ate some lemons or some persimmons or something. You got to be enthusiastic with what you do. I always tell people, if you want that choir to be at least to give you a good, I found, I could be wrong, and you all can correct me if I'm wrong. I find that in order for the choir to give you at least a good 80% of what you're looking for, you got to give at least 110. You got to like almost be over the top for them to give you a lot. You know, I find that with church choirs and some community choir. I've seen Dr. Ricky Dillon, like, even though his choir can really, they sing in there, whatever. And even him, he turn around and he look at them like, give me more than that. Everybody is, you're looking for the best. So what I'm saying, you really have to give it all you got in order for them to give you at least 80% of what you put down, right? You really got to do that. Nobody's going to drag from work, hungry, tired, and sleepy, come out to a choir rehearsal at what, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and you standing there and you have no spirit, no joy, no nothing. They're not going to follow you, people. They're just not going to do it. Because I can tell you right now, I'm not doing it. Okay? What Natalie say? She said, for real. It says, along with Sundays, I can't wait to get a rehearsal, especially with new material. Exactly. Edward said, strive for excellence. That's it. Buster said they will match your energy. I'm telling you all the time. Even the choir that I have, even the choirs that sometimes people ask me to come and direct their choirs for them. They said, can you come and direct? And of course, I have not been to any rehearsal. So I'm just walking up there blind. Like, you told me, what song am I doing? Did they rehearse? Yeah, they did. What Buster said is true. They match the energy. I stand up there and direct. They've never seen me before. They don't know who I am. And I think Natalie and her group seen that. The choir just went along with me. I'm just like, let's go, let's go, let's go. And they sang with me, never rehearsed with me or anything before. But they match what I do, right? And so that's what I'm saying to you. Make sure you're excited and give it all you got. And don't try to compare yourself to anybody else. That is the worst thing you can do. You can't compare yourself to anybody else. Be you, but give them the best you, is what I'm saying. Give them the best you, and you'll be surprised what you get out of people, even if they don't even know you. And that happens to me all the time. They don't know me from Adam or Eve, should I say. But when I get up there, by the time I get through the first stanza, they kind of like, whoa, she's intense. And then they kind of get with you. Okay, so you want to be excited. Who is that? Yolanda say, yes, you did that with Capital City. Yes, that's my new choir, y'all. That's my new group. Now I'm going to share this with you all. This is what I kind of give everybody when Ed says you was on 100. Listen, Ed, we drove all the way to India. I wasn't going to stand there and be like, oh. Okay, I'm going to share with you a rehearsal template that I give to all of my newbies, all of my new people, all right? So I'm going to share this. I'm going to shrink down a little bit, and I hope you can see this. You may have to turn your camera sideways in order to see this, okay? So this is just a little plan that I give them to kind of show them, because the average choir rehearsal is an hour and a half. Me, I try to do it in an hour. I try to do it as quick as I possibly can. I don't like long rehearsals, right? But when you're dealing with a mass of people, it may take an hour and a half. I'm just saying, and your choir, you can modify this any kind of way you want. This is just like I said, this is what I give my newbies. Average rehearsal time at the top is 1.5 hours. Call to order, you should have a warm-up. Some people try to run these choirs without a warm-up. You must have a warm-up. And it depends on how you want to arrange it. Your opening song could actually be your warm-up. I gave a couple of songs that I use as a warm-up. Oh, Lord, we pray. Oh, Lord, we pray. as you. I use that as a warm-up, started very low and modulate all the way up. Give everybody a kind of a warm-up song, or whatever the other one I put. God's Will Is What I Want by Ricky Dillon. God's will is what I want. I use that. All right. 5 minutes to warm everybody up, because most of folks don't warm up. They, come on, just be real. They don't warm up. And then I have a prayer and a scripture. That should take you no more than 10 minutes. Actually, your open song doesn't have to be 5 minutes, but you have a prayer and a scripture. And then the next segment, I tell them always state your agenda, about 5 minutes. Review the list of songs given to the department that you sent out earlier, however you do it, YouTube, Apple, whatever you do. Let them know what you plan to do, all right? We're going to go during our rehearsal time. The songs we're going to tackle first would be the ones we're going to sing on Sunday morning. 4 or 5 songs or whatever, however you do it. You change, you do this however you want. And then you use the remaining time to run through new music, the stuff that you sent them, okay? Because I'm assuming whatever you're singing on Sunday morning, they probably sang it once or twice, and they're familiar with it, and then you come up with this. Now, as I instruct them, I said, your rehearsal time, you got to watch the time. Even if you have to use this blessed smartphone, okay? Use that to keep your time if you're not a time manager. You got to learn to manage your time. If you are an advanced choir, those of you out there that are advanced, you can do 8 or more songs in an hour. That includes your Sunday morning songs. And then, because if your choir is advanced, you don't really have to focus on diction, pronunciation, enunciation, movement, articulate. You don't really have to do all of that. They kind of know that. Like G3, they kind of know that already. So you don't have to spend time on that. So you can do 8 or more songs in an hour. And we're talking, and if they're really good, you might can do 5 songs with 5. Ooh, don't make me do math. Oh my God. Was it 6 songs, 5, 55? You can do quite a bit. Because if you could do 6 in an hour, 12 in I'm off work, y'all. I'm an accountant, but I don't feel like thinking. 12 in an hour. If your choir is advanced, forgive me. It's been a long day today. If you have an intermediate choir, one that is pretty good, but you still got to kind of get on them a little bit about that diction, about that enunciation, about their facial movement, facial expressions, movement of the body and stuff, you can only get 5 or 6. All right, because you got to spend some time teaching them, reminding them, reviewing that content with them, right? If you're brand new, like my newbies, they brand new, they, I got to train them so they know how to train the people. All right. So this was totally modified for the newbies. They might get through 1 or 2 songs, right? Because I got to spend time teaching them and talking to them and reminding them of what you should be communicating. Thank you. Communicating to them. All right. Naaman says, thank you, Naaman. Yolanda said all gas and no brakes. Hey, Leah, good to see you, Lady Leah. All right. And then thank you, Yolanda, 12 songs in an hour. Thank you. I knew that 12 times 5 is 60, but I'm just a little slow right now. But yeah, training. And with the new ones, I have to work with them. A lot of them I'm working with all around the world. Oh my God. I don't know why they do this to people, put them in a position that they're not really versed for. And I got to try to work with them and get them up to speed. But they spend more time doing harmonies, which the intermediate and advanced choirs don't necessarily have to do that, because you got people who can catch their parts real quick. They focus on pronunciation, enunciation, register, trying to teach the people to sing in their comfortable voice, making sure the soprano is really a soprano, the alto is really an alto, and the tenor is really a tenor. And then they got to do the vocal agility. When you got new people, sometimes you can't do all these runs and all these dips and flips. You just got to straight sing and just keep it simple. Don't try to do anything fancy. Don't try to flatten the third with the alto. Just let them stay where they are. Sing it how it is. All right. And then that should take you like an hour, but it depends. You can modify this as however you want to do this. And then in your closing, you do your closing remarks, whatever announcements, and then your dismissal prayer. You want to start with prayer, have your prayers. Some people start, like I said, the call to order, sometimes you start with prayer and then you go into the music. It all depends on however you want to do it. There is no set way to do this, but this is what I give all of my newbies. Of course, I modified it a little bit more for them. I expand their section more, but I know that on this show, I got different levels of people. So I wanted to include all of that. So that's what I generally give everybody that's brand new and try to teach them how to manage your time. Again, do your best to manage your time. You want to do that. You don't want to extend anything too far where people get lost and they get, they start drifting and, putting their coats on and stuff, ready to head out the door. You'd rather be at the point where you tell people you don't have to go home, but you got to get out of here. You would rather tell people that at the end of rehearsal than as soon as you say amen, they all running out the door. When you have people that stay around and they want to talk, that means that they enjoyed themselves. And that's what you want to see. I hope I said something to help you all on tonight. I was talking kind of fast because I didn't want it to be extremely long, but I hope I said something to help you on tonight. Listen, I will put that rehearsal template in the chat for those of you who want to share with other choir directors and let them know that's just something I threw together. I have an official one that I will have for my private classes. They have something different, but I just want to share that that's out there. Anybody can modify it or use it, whatever you want to do. I am so thankful that you all joined me on tonight. Listen, like and share this video. If it's been a blessing to you, share. Thank you, Yolanda. Thank you so much. Thank you. Listen, like and share this video. Let everybody know that it's out. I appreciate each and every one of you. Pray for your girl. They getting me busy now. I don't know how somebody found out I was in India. Now I got everybody else asking me to stop by. So y'all pray for me. Pray my strength, right? Pray my strength. You see, I'm twisting my words because I'm tired. But pray for me. I enjoy what I do. I love sharing with people. I love teaching. And it's such a joy to teach people. And I appreciate all of you all. What you say? Charles, you're welcome. Yeah, Natalie, give me some prayer. I need prayer. Thank you so much. V, thank you, Cousinette. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You all be kind, be sweet, love all y'all, and peace.